This week on IUP News Center, we bring you updated information on a White Township couple charged with an attempted homicide.
Also, a judge's decision on how to handle 2 Bedford teens being charged with murder.
Plus, your latest updates in sports and entertainment right here on the IUP News Center. Welcome to IUP News Center. I'm Madeline Williams.
And I'm Curtis Hughes.
A White Township couple is looking at some serious jail time after being charged with the attempted homicide of their son. On March 4th, Stephanie Green of West Pike Road took her 6-year-old son to the Indiana hospital. Here, she lied to the hospital staff about the apparent injuries to the young boy's neck, face, back, and stomach, saying that he had fallen down 3 steps. She later told police that her husband actually kicked the boy in the face and stomach and squeezed his stomach so intensely that he vomited. The son was taken to the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital and underwent surgeries on his pancreas, colon, and his large and small intestines. The couple was also charged with aggravated assault, endangering the welfare of a child, and reckless endangerment. They were both placed on a $150,000 bond. Their preliminary hearing is scheduled for April 14th before Clymer District Judge George Thatchick. Indiana County Coroner ruled that 54-year-old Michelle Gaze died of hypothermia after falling onto the edge of the railroad tracks in downtown Blairsville. Gaze was found in the snow along the Norfolk Southern Railroad near the East Brown Street overpass around 10:30 a.m. on January 6th, according to authorities. According to Coroner Jerry Overman Jr., alcohol was consumed, and although it did not contribute to her death, it did play a part in Gaze falling near the railroad. Blairsville police found the body just minutes after receiving a call from Gaze's family to inquire about her whereabouts.
A Bedford County judge, Judge Travis Livengood, says that he will not allow 2 juvenile offenders to be transferred to a juvenile facility. Devontae Dantes Moy and Ryan Hardwick were placed into Bedford County Jail after they were charged with the murder of Stephanie Waters. Bedford County District Attorney William Higgins argued against the move, saying he heard of no problems at the county jail involving the 2 since their January arrest. Hardwick is charged with conspiracy to commit murder, while Moy is facing criminal homicide charges for the January 8th incident in Roaring Spring. The 2 are currently in the Bedford County Jail, awaiting their preliminary hearing on April 1st. A Clymer woman died in a tragic car accident this past Friday. Madeline Ralston reportedly died about an hour after her car was struck by another vehicle, driven by 39-year-old Scott Estebede. Ralston was in the passenger seat with her husband driving. Both Estab and Mr. Ralston were transported to nearby hospitals, and while Estab suffered minor injuries, Ralston's condition remains unknown. Police are investigating the crash, but no charges have been filed. Madeline Ralston was 75 years old.
Students at nearby Geneva College are mourning the loss of one of their own. Jonathan Astonishin, 22, of Acme, Westmoreland County, was taken to Heritage Valley Beaver Hospital, where he then died after experiencing cardiac arrest while suddenly falling ill while studying. The Westmoreland County Coroner, Terry Tatalovich Rossi, ruled natural causes and the reason for his death, and although Astonishin was an active football player, the coroner stated that there were no signs of cognitive damage that caused the death.
Now here's Khalil to bring us more news from the field.
Hello, my name is Kyle Edwards, and I'm here for the once-a-month lit night at the Artistry Hand located on 738 Philly Street. Today I'll be giving you an inside glimpse on what it's like for true artistry to show and hopefully brighten up your perspective.
This whole lit night thing is very important to me because it's something that I felt was missing from the community. When I heard about it a year ago, it was something that I said, hey, why am I not part of this? And from that kernel grew this huge thing of Lit Night. Every month has been larger and larger. The university itself, IUP, needs this because of the fact that it's a great recruitment tool. As far as student retention is concerned, it's a wonderful thing to show off, as far as I'm concerned, the English department. But what's really more important, as far as I understand, is that, well, our students don't really get to be part of the Indiana borough, the town of Indiana. But what Lit Night does is bring students outside of their comfort zone.
Thanks, Khalil. A man was trapped in a sinkhole Friday night. The man was trapped under the Mansfield Bridge between Grassport and McKeesport. The man was 10 feet underground, but was still able to make a 911 call for help. Police stopped local trains to keep the ground from shaking and collapsing the ground any further. Rescuers used harnesses to pull the man from the ground. He was responsive the entire time. There were reports of chest and back pain. He was flown to UPMC Presbyterian Hospital that night. There are no new updates on his condition. Lisa Rodnicki, 37, of Irwin, was arrested for allegedly selling heroin. Rodnicki is a health and physical education teacher at Norwin High School. Sources say she is the daughter of Norwin High School Superintendent William Kerr. According to some students, her curriculum included drug prevention. She was placed on paid leave while they learned more about the charges. She will remain in the Westmoreland County Prison while facing 3 drug charges on a $75,000 bond. She has a preliminary hearing scheduled for the 8th of April.
Todd McCullough, a former teacher at Salzburg Middle and High Schools, pleaded guilty to indecent assault without consent and indecent exposure. He acknowledged in his plea that he had sex with a girl in spring 2012 in a back room of a shop classroom. The victim reported the incident to police in October 2013. McCullough was initially charged with 6 felonies and 7 misdemeanors. The plea agreement was reached during jury selection, according to a district attorney, Patrick Doherty. Here, Mr. McCullough provided confirmation of the incident in court. He will never be permitted to work as a teacher again and will have to register as a sex offender for at least 15 years under Megan's Law. Doherty said McCullough could receive up to 4 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. McCullough remains free on a $5,000 bail pending sentencing until his court date. Darby police officers respond to a shooting call only to find one of their own. On Saturday, an off-duty police officer was killed in his Philadelphia area home. Darby Township Police Chief Len McDevitt, Jr. is not releasing much information about the incident or those involved. McDevitt has stated that a female was present at the time of the shooting, but will not confirm if it was a domestic incident. He did go as far as to say that there is no danger to the public and there is no one on the loose. No one has been taken into custody as there was no search for the suspect involved. Darby police are not releasing the name of the fallen officer until his family has been notified.
In 2013, the state of Pennsylvania saw the lowest number of vehicle fatalities since the 1920s. District Executive of PennDOT District 10, Joseph Dubovy III, has a goal that will reduce the number of injuries and accidents by half. Dubovy said they plan to reach that goal through 4 steps: increasing seatbelt use, reducing impaired driving, improving safety among teen drivers, and making work zones safer. Dubovy also said that the ways to improve these areas would be higher fines for not wearing seatbelts, more roving police patrols, DUI checkpoints, and ignition interlock devices for the vehicles of first-time DUI offenders, prohibiting junior drivers from driving with more than one non-family member younger than 18 without a parent or legal guardian, and implementation of a camera-based work zone speed enforcement program. We will keep you updated as we get more news on this developing story. Charlie Caudill, 45, of West Homestead, is wanted in violation of his probation. According to the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office, he was wanted in the case involving a fake bomb. The event took place Friday around 7 a.m. at a West Hempfield townhome apartment on Lenhart Avenue. Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies, U.S. Marshals, and state police tried to take Caudill into custody. He refused to leave an apartment, prompting a SWAT team response. That arrest violated his probation on a 2008 case involving a fake bomb at a bank in McKeesport. Caudle's girlfriend, Jasmine Curry, was inside the apartment at the time and was also taken into custody. Both were taken for questioning in the state police barracks in Greensburg. Investigators said Caudle would face both his original charges in Allegheny County as well as the new charges for the event that occurred on Friday. Now we're going to hand things over to Vicky and Destiny for the Inside Scoop on the 6 o'clock series.
Hi, I'm here with Ralph May. He's going to give us an overview of what we're going to learn from tonight's show at the 6 o'clock series.
Thank you. Tonight, the Suicide Task Force is presenting on a very, very important issue to all of us. It's suicide, suicide prevention, and issues regarding individuals who take their lives. The important thing that we need to do tonight is talk about the incidence rates of suicide, how suicide affects everyone, the risk factors relating to suicide, and what we can do to prevent suicide and bring the suicide rate in the United States down to 0.
Any death diminishes all of us. All of us are involved with one another and connected with one another. There is never a good suicide, ever.
It's hard to say the word suicide. It's hard to ask somebody if they're feeling down, if they're feeling suicidal. Because what if they say yes?
Imagine that a suicide is a big rock dropped into the pond. The waves move out from that impact until it reaches every side of the pond. The closest to the impact feel the greatest impact. But all parts of it feel an impact. All aspects of the pond are touched by the impact of the loss of the impact of the rock.
I'm here with two IUP students who came to the presentation tonight at the 6 o'clock series. What was the main message you guys took from the series?
I would say we learned a lot about the importance of talking about mental health and that you have a role in helping.
And for you?
Yeah, I guess just that the stigma of surrounding mental health is a big part of the problem and that something needs to be done about that. More people need to talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Governor Wolf's property tax relief plan is cultivating some resistance from Pennsylvania farmers. The Pennsylvania Farm Bureau has publicly announced their opposition to the plan. Their major qualm against Wolf's plan is that it helps residential property owners, not large farm operators. The bill allows for tax relief on properties where farmers live and work, but does not necessarily assist with other agricultural lands. The Farm Bureau is pressing for changes that would result in broad tax breaks being granted and taxes being raised in other areas. The Pennsylvania Farm Bureau has accused Governor Wolf of not doing enough to help farmers. Pennsylvania already has tax breaks in place to help land-rich farmers. No word of what changes Wolf will be making to further alleviate property taxes for Pennsylvania's tax-burdened land-rich farm owners. The famous Dr. Seuss still has his birthday honored every year. His known stories are known by so many, and almost everyone around the country and world still read his stories. Right here in Indiana County, State Representative Dave Reed read one of the most iconic Dr. Seuss stories to an eager group of first graders, the famous Green Eggs and Ham. Not only is March Reading Month, one of the most famous authors was born in the same month. It only seems right to read these entertaining stories for this occasion. With the dog days of summer just around the corner, officials are beginning to narrow their choices for a proposed dog park in the area. A township official reports that the results of a recent survey have been gathered, and Getty Heights Park is the location being eyed for the park. The results of the survey were mostly positive, and about $60,000 are available for the potential project. The park is said to be around 1 acre in length and have a fenced-in area for both large and small dogs.
It's time to take back the night. April is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and in honor of this month, the Safe Haven Project will hold a march to show the act of sexual violence is unacceptable. The march will be accompanied by speeches from survivors. There will be awareness tables located at the Crimson Cafe, Thursday, April 2nd, the CHWB Health Hut, Wednesday, April 8th, and the Stapleton Library at April 14th. For more information, email havenproject@iup.edu. Students are invited to attend the IUP Student Forum on April 7th and 8th. Here, students will learn how to present work AG conferences, talk to student presenters about their work and their experiences, and to get ideas of the work that you could do. The forum will be held at the Hub. For more information, email studentresearchforum@iup.edu. Looking for a scholarship? The Indiana Garden Club may be able to help you. The club is a member of the Garden Federation of Pennsylvania, District 4, and they annually award a minimum of one $500 scholarship for the Julia Pound Alice Odell Scholarship Fund. The scholarship applies to students entering college or graduate school with a major of ecology, horticulture, landscape design, landscape architecture, conservation, botany, forestry, agricultural, or earth sciences. Another qualification requires that the student must be a resident of Indiana County. The scholarship application must be complete and include an official transcript as well as a letter of recommendation. The application can be found at www.indianagardenclub.org. Once completed, send your application to the Indiana Garden Club. Students will be notified by August 1st if they receive the scholarship. Good luck to all those that apply. An Indiana County veteran will be inducted into the Joseph A. Duggan Jr. Hall of Valor on March 29th during a ceremony that will take place in Pittsburgh. Edward E. Mackey, a retired military captain, will be honored along with 16 other veterans as the Soldiers and Sailors Class of 2015. The Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum Trust recognize Pennsylvanians who displayed acts of heroism and bravery during times of military strife. Mackey volunteered as an artillery captain during the Vietnam War, where he dragged an injured Marine away from a burning building and flying shrapnel. I'm sincerely honored to be inducted into the Hall of Valor, said Mackey.
Now we are going to hand things over to Aima for the latest in sports. Aima?
Hello, I'm Aima Corinaldi with the Sports This Week. It was a big weekend for the IUP's men's basketball team. One of the best seasons in IUP men's basketball program history came to an end on Saturday as the Crimson Hawks fell to Florida Southern 77-62 in the 2015 NCAA Division II National Championship at the Ford Center. On Saturday, March 28th, the team traveled to the Evansville in the state of Indiana to attend the NCAA Division II National Championship for the first time since 2010. 3 players reached double figures in scoring for the Crimson Hawks, with Devontae Chance leading the way with 17 points. He also had 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Sean Dyer finished with 16 points and 8 rebounds, while Daddy Umbede added 12 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. The Crimson Hawks wrapped up their season with a 31-7 overall record, the second most wins in the program history. Congratulations to the men's basketball team for coming this far. This is a great end to a great season. In other news, IUP's baseball team is off to an 8-8 start in the 2015 regular season. On Tuesday, IUP split a doubleheader against Shippensburg University. First baseman Ryan Ewell continued his hot streak, blasting 2 home runs, 1 in each game, bringing his season total up to 11 and his career total to 24. IUP's team as a whole has continued its recent trend of alternating between hot and cold as the team yet again struggled in Game 1, only to come back to smash their opponents in Game 2. Game 1 unfortunately ending in a loss with the final score being 9-18. In Game 2, the Crimson Hawks won 13-6 and forced the series split. There was simply no stopping the IUP's lacrosse team on Tuesday. The team played Gannon University Golden Knight at Miller Stadium. They won the game with a final score of 17-10. The game was a deadlock at 3 goals each until IUP found a way to pull ahead with a 4-0 run early in the first half. Gannon responded with a few goals but could not steal the lead with the score of 9-7 going into the half. In the second half, the Crimson Hawks began to settle in and pull away. Another 4-0 run to open the half put IUP up for good, and they never looked back, outscoring the Golden Knights 8-3 in the second half. That's all we have for sports this week. I'm Aima. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Aima.
Brittany Person had the chance to attend the Chamber of Commerce after hours earlier this month. Let's join her as she gives us the inside scoop on the 2015 Leaders Circle of Indiana's Finalist Awards. Brittany?
There's excitement in the air tonight at the KCAC for the Leaders Circle of Indiana's finalists for the 2015 Athena and Male and Female Civic Leaders Awards presented during the Chamber of Commerce After Hours. The 3 award recipients will be those who have contributed to bettering the Indiana community and surrounding areas. More specifically, the Athena Award honors a man or a woman who is recognized for professional excellence, community service, and for actively assisting women in their attainment of professional excellence and leadership skills. The Male and Female Civic Leader of the Year Awards recognize local residents who have demonstrated sustained volunteer service, contributions, and accomplishments made on behalf of Indiana County. According to Chamber President and Leaders Circle Vice Chair Jim Scruzzi, all of the nominees represent the finest qualities in volunteerism, community service, and civic responsibility. The final recipients will be announced at 2015 Leaders Circle Awards event on Wednesday, April 22nd at the KCAC. Reservations can be made by emailing VIP-RSVP@IUP.edu or by calling University Events at 724-357-2145. April 22nd will truly be a night to remember, so make your reservations today. For IUP News Center, I'm Brittany Person.
Thanks, Brittany. Shortly after 1:30 p.m. this Sunday afternoon, near Brandywine Airport in Westchester, PA, a small airplane crashed, killing 2 of its passengers. Officials said the plane was located about 20 miles west of Philadelphia. Officials also claimed that the pilot lost control of the plane while it was on its way down, which caused it to burst into flames. The airport's assistant manager, Jeff Suveg, said there were 2 lives lost. Our hearts go out to the families. The FAA are investigating the cause of the plane crash. There are more than 1,000 suicides on college campuses each year. The Suicide Task Force of Indiana County will discuss the impact of suicide and how to prevent it. The 6 o'clock series was hosted on Monday, March 30th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Hub Ohio room. Members of the Suicide Task Force led the discussion on how suicide has touched them, locally, and efforts that can be made to prevent unnecessary tragedy. The program was open to everyone. Passengers aboard an Air Canada plane experienced a scare while landing in the Halifax Stanfield International Airport on Sunday. The plane allegedly struck a power pylon amidst the stormy conditions. 23 of the 133 passengers were taken to a nearby hospital and were treated for minor injuries. Passengers claimed that the plane skidded on its undercarriage before stopping. Businessman Mike Nurserek mentioned, "It was so chaotic at the time, I'm pretty sure the landing gear broke. The engine on my side popped off. This incident comes in the wake of a German flight that tragically crashed last week, killing 150 passengers."
A recent security update from the Indiana Regional Medical Center shows that safety and hospitals don't always go hand in hand. According to hospital officials, the 17 members of the Safety and Security Department will be armed while on duty beginning on Monday. Each security officer has undergone physical and psychological examinations, along with 100 hours of training under Pennsylvania's Lethal Weapon Training Act. The decision to arm the officers was not easy, but it is necessary to protect both staff and patients. According to IRMC's President Stephen Wolf, the changing environment around us and the increase in physical confrontations were both factors that led us to this point. This is the first time in the hospital's 100-year history that security officers have been armed on duty. April is Autism Awareness Month, and one of IUP's fraternities is lending its name to the cause. Phi Sigma Pi, the National Co-Ed Honor Fraternity, has planned activities for its first Autism Awareness Week. The events will begin on Monday and last until April 4th. All activities are free and open to the community, and any donations will benefit the International Autism Awareness Project, Lighted Up Blue. For more information about the locations and times of each event, contact Robert Matchett at ylzr@iup.edu or Aubrey Kepperling at zwzs@iup.edu. In Wichita, Kansas, a mother outraged after her special needs son was asked to remove his Letterman jacket she bought him while on campus. Michael Kelly plays on the special needs basketball team at East High School, and when he wore his letter jacket, he was told to take it off because he is not a varsity athlete. She said Michael was given a sweatshirt to wear instead. The story has received a lot of national attention, and people are calling for change at the Kansas school. To hear what the school principal had to say, you can view more at 6abc.com.
Many high school athletes around the area recently braved the cold conditions and put on their uniforms for the first time this track and field season. Students from Homer City, Northern Cambria, Penns Manor, and Purchase Line High Schools all traveled to the 40th Annual Igloo Invitational held at Altoona Area High School over the weekend. All the results of the meet can be viewed online by visiting pa.milesplit.com. The Eisenbergers of White Township decorate for Easter, placing more than 1,000 Easter bunnies throughout their homes for a holiday. Chris Eisenberger said she started collecting Easter bunnies 22 years ago. Eisenberger said her mother always called her children bunnies. So when her daughter was taken to the emergency room at only 8 months old, she gave their child the first bunny. From there on, Chris continued collecting them. Now the collection has 1,078 bunnies of all shapes, sizes, styles, and materials, according to an inventory she recently took while planning for this year's celebration.
And now we are going to hand things over to Kayla for our entertainment segment. Kayla?
Hello, I'm Kayla Woods, and this is your weekly entertainment news. As we all know, Jon Stewart is leaving The Daily Show on Comedy Central. His quips and sarcastic humor will be missed, but Comedy Central has just announced his replacement. His name is Trevor Noah, a 31-year-old comedian from South Africa. He has been working with Comedy Central as a senior international correspondent since December, and has also hosted his own late-night show in South Africa for 2 seasons. Trevor was also the first South African stand-up comedian to appear on Jay Leno's The Tonight Show and Late Show with David Letterman. Comedy Central's president, Michelle Gainless, said, "We set out to find a fresh voice who can speak to our audience, and that's what we found in Trevor." She also stated that, most importantly, he is wickedly funny. This is all good news for The Daily Show fans, and his premiere date will be announced at a later date. If you're a Dancing with the Stars fan, then you have been inspired by a true hero this season. Noah Galloway, an Iraq War veteran who lost part of his left arm and leg in combat in 2005, is dancing his way into our hearts. He has gone out week after week impressing us with what he can do even without the use of those limbs. He has now been testing out a new computerized prosthetic arm, but will not use it for the Argentine tango, vowing to go all natural with that dance. His partner, dancing pro Shauna Burgess, and him have been playing with the new arm, but stated that it was too stressful to use yet. Noah said that he needed more time with the arm. He also said, in not having the arm in the beginning and trying to imagine what it would do, and then when we get the arm, discovering it's not really easy to just put on the arm and go. So for now, no new arm, but seeing what he can already do without it, we look forward to seeing what he can do once he masters the arm as well. He is truly an unstoppable hero. Every year during the summer months, bands and musical artists of all types perform live on Sundays in the historical Memorial Park in Indiana, PA. They perform and entertain at no cost to the audience. However, there are real costs involved to set these events up and bring the bands in. To keep these concerts free, the Indiana Theater is hosting a fundraiser called the Summer Concerts in the Park Fundraiser. The event will take place on Friday, April 17th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. The doors will open at 6:30 p.m. and the cost is $10, but will include 5 raffle chances. It will include live music, tastings, 50-50 raffle, and more. Some of the bands slated to play are Black Ridge and Jag Stone. If you enjoy the summer concerts in the park, then come out to the fundraiser and help alleviate some of the cost to organize these events. I'm Kayla Woods. Thank you, and that's all we have for this week's entertainment.
Thanks, Kayla.
Well, that's all the time we have tonight. On behalf of IUP News Center, I'm Madeline Williams.
And I'm Curtis Hughes. Make sure to tune in next week for Grade A News. Good night.